For decades, the name Assad was synonymous with Syria. Hafez al-Assad's iron grip, followed by his son Bashar's brutal reign, defined the country's modern history. This era has come to an end. In December 2024, the Assad regime fell. Years of civil war, marked by unimaginable suffering, finally reached a tipping point. Rebels, spearheaded by the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS) group, seized control of key cities. The fall of Homs marked a turning point. The regime crumbled shortly after. Bashar al-Assad's fate remains unknown. Rumors swirl about his escape, possibly to Russia. Regardless, his grip on power has been shattered. Syria now faces a future without the dynasty that has ruled it for so long. The international community is grappling with the implications of this seismic shift. The path ahead for Syria is fraught with uncertainty. Challenges abound, but so does a glimmer of hope for a new beginning. The fall of the Assad regime marks a watershed moment in the Middle East. It is a testament to the Syrian people's resilience in the face of unimaginable brutality. The road ahead will be long and arduous. Yet, the possibility of a future free from Assad's tyranny offers a glimmer of hope amidst the ruins. The world watches with bated breath, hoping that this marks the dawn of a new era for Syria, one marked by peace, justice, and self-determination. Hayat Tahrir al-Sham (HTS) has emerged from the ashes of Syria's conflict as a major force. The group, with its roots in al-Qaeda's Syrian affiliate, has undergone a transformation. It now presents itself as a more pragmatic actor focused on governance. HTS played a pivotal role in the final offensive against the Assad regime. Its fighters captured strategic cities, ultimately leading to the regime's collapse. HTS's ideology remains a subject of debate. Some see it as a genuine evolution, while others remain skeptical. The group's actions in the coming months will be crucial. It now controls significant territory and resources. The international community is watching closely to see how HTS will govern. Will it prioritize stability and reconciliation, or will it revert to its more radical past? The answers to these questions have profound implications for Syria's future. HTS's trajectory will shape the country's political landscape. It will also influence the international community's willingness to engage. The world waits to see whether HTS will become a partner in peace or an obstacle to progress. The group's leaders hold the future of Syria in their hands. The fall of the Assad regime has forced the United States to recalibrate its Syria policy. Washington, once focused on Assad's removal, now faces a new reality. HTS, a group with a complex and often troubling history, has emerged as a key player. The U.S. has engaged in cautious dialogue with HTS. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has held direct talks with the group's leadership. The focus of these discussions has been on security and counter-terrorism. The U.S. is seeking assurances that HTS will not harbor extremist groups. It is also pressing HTS to respect human rights and embrace a political solution. In return, the U.S. has offered the possibility of easing sanctions. This would provide much-needed relief to the Syrian people. However, any such move is contingent on HTS's actions. The U.S.-HTS engagement is a delicate dance. It is a recognition of the realities on the ground. HTS is a force to be reckoned with in Syria. However, the U.S. remains wary of the group's ideology and intentions. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether this cautious engagement can bear fruit. The stakes are high. A successful partnership could pave the way for stability and reconstruction. Failure could plunge Syria deeper into chaos. The international community has responded to the fall of the Assad regime with a mixture of caution and hope. The Arab League, after years of suspending Syria, has expressed support for a Syrian-led political transition. This signals a potential shift in the Arab world's stance towards Damascus. Turkey, a key player in the Syrian conflict, has also taken steps towards normalization. The reopening of the Turkish embassy in Damascus after 12 years is a significant development. However, divisions remain. Russia and Iran, longtime allies of the Assad regime, have condemned the rebel advance. They view the fall of Assad as a blow to their interests in the region. Western nations, while expressing cautious optimism, have emphasized the need for a political solution that includes all segments of Syrian society. The international community's response will be crucial in shaping Syria's future. A coordinated effort is needed to address the humanitarian crisis, support reconstruction, and prevent the resurgence of extremist groups. The world cannot afford to repeat the mistakes of the past. Syria's stability and prosperity are in the interests of the entire international community. Section 5. Turkey's Gamble, a return to Damascus. Turkey's decision to reopen its embassy in Damascus marks a significant shift in its Syria policy. Ankara, once a staunch supporter of the Syrian opposition, is now engaging with the new reality on the ground. This move is driven by a complex set of calculations. Turkey is grappling with a large Syrian refugee population and fears the emergence of a Kurdish autonomous region along its border. By reopening its embassy, Turkey aims to reassert its influence in Syria. It seeks to counter Iranian influence and prevent the consolidation of Kurdish control in the north. This is a high-stakes gamble. Turkey's actions could contribute to stabilizing Syria or further inflame tensions. The success of Ankara's strategy will depend on its ability to navigate the complex web of alliances and rivalries in Syria. It will also require engaging with all parties, including the Kurdish groups, in a constructive manner. The coming months will reveal whether Turkey's gamble will pay off or backfire. The stakes are high, not just for Turkey but for the entire region. Section 6. Israel's calculus, security concerns, and calculated strikes. Israel has been a silent but active player in the Syrian conflict for years. Its primary concern has been to prevent the transfer of advanced weapons to Hezbollah in Lebanon. The fall of the Assad regime has done little to alleviate these concerns. Israel has continued its policy of targeted airstrikes against suspected Iranian and Hezbollah targets inside Syria. These strikes, while limited in scope, highlight Israel's determination to prevent its enemies from gaining a foothold on its northern border. Israel's actions are a reminder of the complex security dynamics at play in the region. While the fall of Assad removes one source of instability, it also creates new uncertainties. Israel's actions are likely to continue as it seeks to protect its interests in a rapidly evolving environment. The potential for miscalculation is high. Any escalation between Israel and Iranian-backed forces in Syria could have far-reaching consequences. The international community must work to prevent such an outcome and promote dialogue between the parties. The Syrian conflict has created one of the most severe humanitarian crises in recent history. Millions of Syrians have been displaced, both internally and as refugees in neighboring countries and beyond. The human cost is staggering, with countless lives lost and communities torn apart. Access to basic necessities like food, water, and medical care remains a daily struggle for many. The international community has provided aid, but the scale of the crisis often outstrips available resources. Efforts to deliver humanitarian assistance are frequently hampered by ongoing violence and political obstacles. The plight of the Syrian people is a stark reminder of the urgent need for a peaceful resolution to the conflict. As the conflict in Syria continues, the question of accountability becomes increasingly pressing. War crimes and human rights abuses have been documented on all sides. Bringing those responsible to justice is essential for any lasting peace. Reconciliation will also be a critical component of rebuilding Syrian society. This process will require addressing the grievances and traumas experienced by individuals and communities. International support will be crucial in facilitating both accountability and reconciliation efforts. The path forward is fraught with challenges, but without these steps, true peace and stability will remain elusive. The Assad regime in Syria is a complex focal point of Middle Eastern geopolitics. Understanding its dynamics and the implications of its potential fall requires delving into several layers, including the regime's history, its allies and opponents, and the broader global consequences. Here's a detailed look. The Assad family has ruled Syria since 1971, beginning with Hafez al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad assumed power in 2000. The regime is characterized by authoritarianism, with strong control over the military, intelligence services and economy. Since 2011, the Assad regime has faced a prolonged civil war sparked by pro-democracy protests. The conflict evolved into a multifaceted war involving numerous domestic factions and international players. Assad's primary backer is Russia, providing military, economic and political support. Russia's intervention in 2015 turned the tide of the war in Assad's favor. Moscow's interest lies in maintaining its influence in the Middle East and its naval base in Tartus. Iran supports Assad through funding, military aid and proxy forces like Hezbollah. Syria serves as a crucial link in Iran's Shia crescent, connecting Tehran to Lebanon and the Mediterranean. While less directly involved, China has politically supported Syria at the United Nations and is interested in post-war reconstruction opportunities. Opposition to Assad includes both moderate opposition groups and extremist organizations like ISIS and al-Nusra Front. Their strength has diminished over the years due to infighting and external pressure. The US and European nations have opposed Assad, citing human rights abuses and his use of chemical weapons. However, their involvement has been inconsistent and often limited. Countries like Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar have backed various opposition groups, either to counter Assad or to limit Iranian influence. If the Assad regime fell, domestic consequences would likely include chaos and power struggles among competing factions, possible fragmentation of Syria into zones controlled by different groups, and risks of extremist groups gaining more territory or influence. Regionally, a vacuum could escalate competition among foreign powers such as Russia, Iran, Turkey, and the US, with potential spillover of violence into neighboring countries like Lebanon, Iraq, and Jordan. Globally, if international powers clash over Syria, it could escalate tensions, leading to increased refugee flows, further straining Europe and neighboring states. The fall of Assad might intensify global tensions, especially if Russia and Iran double down to secure their interests, leading to direct confrontation with Western powers or regional adversaries. Turkey might also escalate involvement, potentially clashing with Russian or Iranian forces. Israel could respond aggressively to increased Iranian influence or Hezbollah's expansion in the vacuum. While such scenarios are speculative, they underline the importance of Syria as a geopolitical flashpoint. If you'd like, I can focus on specific aspects such as the role of Russia, Iran's strategy, or the historical parallels to regime changes elsewhere. Let me know. Syria stands at a crossroads with hope and uncertainty intertwined. The potential for a brighter future exists, but it is tempered by the realities on the ground. The international community has a role to play in supporting Syria's recovery and fostering an environment conducive to peace. The resilience and determination of the Syrian people offer a glimmer of hope. However, the road ahead is long and fraught with difficulties. As Syria navigates this critical juncture, the actions of both domestic and international actors will shape the country's future. The world watches, hoping for a resolution that brings lasting peace and stability to a region long plagued by conflict.